It was late at night, and as Ion's steady hands gripped the steering wheel, I realized I was falling for the man who was supposed to only drive me, but had quietly stolen my heart. Rose, before I begin this story, just a small request. If you enjoy my voice, my stories, and the emotions I share, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Your support means the world to me. Rose. I never imagined that the most unexpected part of my life would begin on a rainy evening, just like any other day. Except that night, something inside me shifted forever. It was past midnight when I slipped quietly out of the grand mansion where I lived, careful not to wake my parents. I wasn't running away. It was something far more delicate, far more dangerous. I was going to meet Ion, my driver, the one person who knew me better than anyone else, the one I trusted with all my secrets, and the one I never thought I'd want like this. The rain tapped gently on the windows of the car as Ion drove us through the empty streets. Usually I would sit back and stare out, lost in my thoughts, but tonight my eyes were fixed on him. The way his hands gripped the steering wheel, the faint smile he gave when I caught him looking at me. It all felt like a silent conversation, a promise we dared not speak aloud. We had been meeting like this for months now, sneaking away from the world, away from the expectations that wrapped around me like a cage. Society told me I was untouchable, rich, poised, someone with a carefully planned future. But with Ion I was just Elena, a woman with a heart that beat wildly when he was near. Our meetings always felt like a delicate dance. Sometimes we'd find a quiet hotel nearby, a place where no one knew us. The dim lights, the soft hum of the air conditioner, the gentle rustle of the curtains. It was our secret world. I remember the first time I reached out to touch his hand. It was subtle, almost accidental, as if I was testing the waters. His fingers curled around mine, warm and reassuring. My heart fluttered as if it wanted to break free from my chest. Ion's eyes searched mine, full of questions and promises. He leaned closer, and my breath caught as his lips brushed softly against my cheek. A kiss so gentle, yet filled with everything we were too scared to say. That night, wrapped in the silence between us, I felt something I never had before: belonging. He wasn't just my driver anymore. He was my refuge, my confidant, the keeper of my heart. The more time we spent together, the more the world outside faded away. The luxury I was born into meant nothing compared to the warmth of his presence. Behind the polished surface of my life, behind the glittering parties and the endless smiles, I craved these stolen moments with him. Sometimes in the quiet hotel rooms, our hands would explore the contours of trust, inching closer with every heartbeat. Ion never rushed. Every touch, every glance was a silent vow, a promise that this connection was real, even if the world refused to see it. One night, as rain drummed steadily against the windowpane, we found ourselves wrapped in a simple embrace, the kind that speaks of unspoken fears and hopes. My head rested against his chest, listening to the steady rhythm of his heartbeat, a sound that calmed the storm inside me. Our lips met in a kiss that was soft, lingering, full of all the longing that had built between us. It wasn't just a kiss. It was a confession, a declaration of a love that defied rules and boundaries. We knew the risks. The world outside would never understand this. A rich woman and her driver. But in that moment, wrapped in each other's arms, none of that mattered. Ion was my secret, my escape. Every stolen moment, every whispered word, deepened the bond we shared. I could feel it in the way he looked at me, with admiration, respect, and something tender that made my heart ache. Our story wasn't about grand gestures or fairy tale endings. It was about the quiet, relentless truth that sometimes, love finds you in the most unlikely places. And as the rain washed over the city, I knew that no matter what the future held, this secret between us was mine to cherish, a beautiful, fragile flame that kept my heart alive. That evening, the world outside seemed to pause, as if the universe itself was holding its breath for us. We had checked into a small, quiet hotel on the edge of the city. Nothing fancy, but perfect for the secret we were about to share. Ion held the door open for me. His eyes dark and warm, full of unspoken emotions. As I stepped inside, the soft glow of the room wrapped around us like a gentle promise. The muted hum of the city outside was distant, almost like a dream. The air was thick with anticipation, but also something softer, a fragile hope neither of us dared voice aloud. He closed the door behind us with a quiet click, and suddenly the room felt like the only place in the world that mattered. I could hear my own heartbeat echoing, loud and wild. The small space seemed charged with every stolen glance, every breath shared between us. Without a word, Ion reached out, his fingers tracing the line of my jaw so lightly it felt like a feather's touch. My breath caught, and I leaned into his warmth, closing my eyes to savor the feeling. His touch was electrifying yet soothing, a silent confession of everything that had built up between us over months. Our hands found each other next. His strong, steady, enveloping mine with a tenderness that made me feel seen, understood, and treasured in a way I never had before. He pulled me closer, and the space between us vanished. The warmth of his body against mine was both thrilling and comforting, like returning to a place I didn't know I was missing. The scent of his cologne mixed with the faintest hint of rain outside, creating a memory I knew I'd hold forever. Our lips met slowly, softly, with a delicate care as if we were both afraid to break the fragile bubble that surrounded us. That kiss was everything. Longing and restraint, hope and fear, desire and deep affection, all woven together in one perfect moment. It spoke of promises too daring to say out loud, of feelings too precious to rush. I rested my head against his chest, feeling the steady rhythm of his heartbeat beneath my ear. The sound was a lullaby, steady and reassuring, grounding me in a reality that felt more vivid than any dream. In that quiet, I felt a wave of peace wash over me, a feeling so profound I almost didn't want to open my eyes. Ion's fingers gently stroked my hair, each touch like a silent promise that I was safe, loved, and never alone. In that room, away from judgment, expectations, and the weight of the outside world, I was free. Free to be vulnerable, to trust, to love without limits. And in his arms, I discovered a love that was not defined by status or circumstance, but by the raw, honest connection between two souls. We stayed like that for what felt like hours, wrapped in each other, sheltered from the storm raging outside and the storms waiting for us beyond these four walls. It was our secret, our sanctuary, where nothing else mattered except the gentle beating of our hearts in unison. When the night finally began to fade, and the first hints of dawn painted the sky outside, I knew this was only the beginning of a story no one else would understand but us, a story of two hearts daring to love when the world said they shouldn't.